Hi there, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa Lemon, and I wanted to talk today about living with generalized anxiety disorder. So, very simply, probably too simply, generalized anxiety disorder is marked by a preoccupation with death and the fear of dying. So, fear of dying ourselves, fear of our loved ones dying, fear of people dying, just dying. So, as you can probably imagine, if you don't deal with this, it's not a very fun thing to deal with. So, it's really tricky actually. So, this is something that I deal with. Oh, I wanted to mention. So, I talk a little bit about social anxiety and things like that, and those for me kind of started when I was younger. And for me, generalized anxiety disorder, it was postpartum. And so it really started after I had my first child, this kind of preoccupation with being afraid of death and like, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for this life. And like they could die. Like it really was a postpartum thing, which isn't talked about enough. Postpartum depression is talked about way more than postpartum anxiety. And postpartum anxiety is a thing and it happens. And I think that the cure for postpartum everything is a better food system, better diet, better nutrition. And that does go back to food producers. Like we need more farming and farmer markets and just whole foods, whole grains, raw fruits and vegetables. Cooked ones are okay too, but raw milk. What are the other things I'm thinking of? Oh, the meat, the grass-fed, organic meat, we just need to get back to our food being nutritious, and it would solve a lot of problems in our society. And of course, lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is a big thing with new moms and causing all kinds of problems, and not to mention like hormonal shifts, things going on, which nutrition plays a role in that too. So, yeah, just some thoughts there about the importance of nutrition. And, it's important, I think, that we take supplements sometimes because our food isn't as nutritious as it used to be. But postpartum things have always been around. And so there is that play of like the hormonal shifts and the things going on in the mind and the heart and the lack of sleep. And you just combine all these things and it just kind of can create, not to mention genetics, it just can create a disaster sometimes. And I would call generalized anxiety disorder a little bit of a disaster because it is not fun living with that brain. But I mentioned this in another video. One of the best things if you have generalized anxiety disorder, at least in my opinion, this has been my experience, when we stop shaming ourselves for those things and just like choose to love ourselves instead, it really is the best and fastest way to begin to ease those symptoms. Because I definitely still have generalized anxiety disorder. I wouldn't call it a preoccupation anymore. I would call it an automatic pop-up of random thoughts, and I do still notice them, but they aren't distressing anymore. Sometimes they're not distressing. Okay, maybe they're always going to be distressing, but I don't let that distress get any farther than that's a thought I had. It's kind of distressing. Okay, moving on. Or do I need to write about it? Or do I need to analyze it? But for the most part, do I need to feel my emotions around it? But for the most part, I'm able to move through that really quickly. I feel like I need to talk a little more about feeling the emotions of that. That can be really horrifying and terrifying to have that preoccupation with death and to have these thoughts pop into your head. If you're a really visual person like me, sometimes you will see images pop into your head, and that is not a fun thing to have images of death, worries of death, fears of death all the time, and that can bring a lot of emotional things with it too. It is not just a thought thing going on. Definitely that's going to bring up strong, intense emotions, and that is super valid. And those can be dealt with. And again, I keep saying this, like I haven't tuned in to the energy of that. I have learned more about maybe the cause of that because it was a postpartum thing for me, but I haven't ever tuned into the energy of that and worked on healing that. And so I look forward to doing that someday and probably creating a session about postpartum generalized anxiety. you know, these things that I've gone through myself are are near and dear to my heart because I know firsthand how difficult it is to deal with these things, and I want to help as many people as I can be able to heal from these things and raise their vibrations and have a better life, and that includes myself. So definitely on my radar is doing a session for all of these different things. So that's basically it. Yeah, my heart goes out to anybody who deals with generalized anxiety. It's no bueno, no fun. So much love, sending so much love. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm grateful that you're here learning about these things. They're important. And sorry, I just feel like I should talk a little bit about how we can help somebody that has generalized anxiety. If it's postpartum, please let them take a nap, let them sleep, get them some really good nutrition, make them some yummy, healthy meals, watch their kids for them, you know, help them find a good practitioner so they can go to therapy, watch their kids while they go to therapy. There are a million things that you can do to help somebody who has postpartum generalized anxiety or just generalized anxiety disorder in general. And of course, the most important thing I think is do not try to convince them that something is not wrong, and do not try to diminish their experience or shame them or make the situation worse. Number one rule of it, of all this stuff is just we want to diffuse, we want to help, we want to calm and you know, be compassionate with people, because that's what helps us heal. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.